It all comes down to this. It's the Season 2 finale, and Everton have got just 8 games left to qualify for the Champions League for the first time in almost 20 years. Can they do it? Let's find out. And as ever, if you're enjoying the series so far, please feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get into today's episode. So a massive 1-0 win against Tottenham Hotspur in our last episode has continued our fine run of form at the moment, and helping us leapfrog the North London club into 3rd place in the Premier League, just 3 points behind our arch-rivals Liverpool. But the two teams behind us in Manchester United and Spurs do both have a game in hand on us. And with some pretty tough fixtures to come, especially with the likes of Newcastle away, Arsenal at home, and Manchester City away in the last few months of the season, we're going to need one big final push from the squad to try and see if we can get over the line. And if we are going to do it, we're going to have to do it without our main man Jota. Since coming in the January transfer window, he's appeared 7 times in the Premier League. Yes, he hasn't lit up the goal-scoring charts with only 1 goal and 2 assists to his name, but he has absolutely lit up the left-hand side of my midfield, racking up a 7.33 rating overall. But with him out with a dislocated shoulder that's more than likely going to see him out for the remainder of the season, once again it is time for this man, Dwight McNeil, to step up in his place. He struggled for a first team place last season, couldn't barely even get on the bench. This season though, he's come in the departures of Jota, Danjuma and Mudryk, and he's put in a sensational performance with 5 goals and 4 assists to his name. As well as Carlos Huerta, he has yet to score or even assist so far in the Premier League, but with just 8 games remaining, he will be desperate to try and show that it was the right decision to bring him in the summer. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has been pretty poor so far this season, it must be said, and he has been displaced by Beto in the starting 11. But even though he does have eyes on his newfound move to Real Madrid in the summer, I'm sure he will be desperate to end what has been a terrific Everton career by helping us find our place in the Champions League for next season. And speaking of Beto, I am going to be needing him to continue his fine form. 14 goals and 4 assists in all competitions so far this season. He has formed an absolutely lethal partnership with Dele Alli. The two of them have combined sensationally to contribute 28 goals for me so far this season, and it is now a fight between the two of them to see who is going to be the top goal scorer for us this season. As for me though, you can see I've pretty much spent almost every single penny that Everton Football Club have to try and get us in this position. However, despite us being in an unlikely 3rd place with only a few more games to go, and with a board objective simply wanting us to qualify for the Europa League this season, in spite of that, and in spite of our terrific form so far, my status with the board is only at 63 and is in a very weak position. And so I'm going to be relying on these players to try and dig me out of a hole in this episode, because if they don't, I could well be facing my marching orders at Everton Football Club. We are getting straight down to business though as we kick off this episode with an absolutely titanic clash at St James's Park against a Newcastle team that, just like us, are equally fighting for their lives for the final European spot in the Premier League this season. There can be no doubt this is going to be an incredibly tough game, but once again it's one that we absolutely need to get 3 points from. Frustratingly though, a little bit of fatigue has hit the Everton ranks here, so I have had to make a few changes to my usual starting 11. Pickford does keep his place in goal, but Willems comes in at right back in place of Patterson. Mark Gay is partnered by Zangante at the back, with Hato starting on the left-hand side. Onana and Garner of course start in midfield, with Damsgaard playing in behind Beto up front. Dwight McNeil comes in on the left, and Bakayoko of course starts on the right. Pickford out of his own goal goes to the left hand side to Hato, really nicely done, plays it into Zangante, and he's found Onana in a nice little pocket of space, and Onana now can drive forward and finds a wonderful ball into Dwight McNeil, and Dwight McNeil now down the left hand side. He's got options in the box, he tries to find one in Damsgaard, doesn't though. Good save from Nick Pope. Onana once again in the heart of the midfield, getting stuck into several challenges and several battles as Hato plays it out to Dwight McNeil on the left hand side, cuts it back in for Hato. Hato's looking for someone, ends up getting his wires all mixed up, but somehow manages to wriggle away with the ball and strikes from outside of the area. And in the end, it's a good save from Nick Pope. Bakayoko will take the resulting corner. It's going to be the first corner of the game, and it's going to be thrown in here. Look at the head of Mark Gay. It was a good head, but he was just bundled over in the end. Joe Linton can bring it out of defence for Newcastle. Hato tussling with Almiron on that left-hand side. He's got the better of him, and he's found a ball into Dwight McNeil, and he's found a ball around the corner into Onana. Onana's now fed it into Damsgaard. This is lovely. Damsgaard shifts it onto his right, strikes. Good save again from Pope. But it's been all Everton here. We have well and truly been in the ascendancy, but we must make it count as we fire it back into the box. Looking for the head of Mark Gay. It's headed away, though, by Goretzka. Clearly now applying his trade at Newcastle in place of Bayern Munich here in this career mode. Headed away once again, though, this time by Livramento, and it's cleared by Newcastle. Anthony Gordon trying to go past Zangante, does go past Zangante, and the Englishman has got bags of pace here to try and go past Willems, but instead cuts it back, gets it back from him though, and he does a brilliant job of just skipping away from the challenge of the Belgian, throws it in. Mark Mark Gay gets involved, gets his head in the way, and eventually we manage to bring the ball away now. Now Damsgaard, can he try and release Beto? Is Beto stayed on side? He's just got bundled over in the end. The Danish man should have done more there. He should have released him in a better area, and that was a big opportunity that goes begging once again. But it's 0-0 here at the start of the second half. We have certainly had the better opportunities, and we've certainly had more possession and more control, but we just could not make it count here, and we've just got to hope that does not come back to bite us. Rudoki Moraes, brilliant challenge from Mark Gay, and Mark Gay now releases Bakayoko, and Bakayoko down the right-hand side, the centre-back Mark Gay has continued his run, and he goes into the box here. Can he cut it back for Beto? No, he can't. Good block from Dan Burn. It will be another corner, though, and it will be one that James Garner will take, throws it in, looking for the man, Mark Gay, and it was a big head, and yet again, Nick Pope is keeping Newcastle in this game here today. Goretzka for Newcastle, goes to Livramento into the centre, finds Alexander Isak, who has been very quiet so far in this game. All of the Newcastle strikers and attacking players, except for perhaps this man, Anthony Gordon, has been very quiet as he's managed to find a ball into Joe Linton, and he's totally carved my defence apart. Well, here was me saying that the Newcastle attackers have been fairly quiet today, and as soon as I say it, as luck would have it, they've totally and utterly ripped through my defence like a knife through butter. Lovely, fantastic ball from Anthony Gordon, and still Joe Linton right on the edge of the box. He had a lot to do. A hard and low strike though. Could the goalkeeper Pickford done better? He did get a hand to it, but it wasn't enough. A strong strike, and frustratingly for me, it's 1-0 Newcastle. Well, we've got it all to do here. We've got 30 minutes on the clock to at least get one goal to bring the scores level. We've had ample opportunity to do so far, and we have not made it count. We must do better here with just 30 minutes remaining, and Bakayoko is taking matters into his own hands as he storms into the penalty area. Garner into Beto. Beto strikes, another big save from Pope. Into the feet of Goretzka. He's being hassled and chased down by Dele Alli on as a substitute. Doesn't manage to win it back though, but eventually he does, and he gives it to Carlos Huerta, also on as a substitute, who finds Damsgaard. Damsgaard's going to try and feed this into Bakayoko. Bakayoko to strike on his right, and gets it so wrong. Well, it's chances like that we must take. We did all the hard work, pressing high, winning the ball back, and then when it really mattered, just like it has for the whole game so far, we have gone missing. Alexander Isak for Newcastle. Mark Gay, once again, who's had a terrific game so far, comes across Carlos Huerta. Lovely ball through the lines into Dele Alli, and Dele Alli now is going to go down the line into Damsgaard. Damsgaard across to Beto against Ben Godfrey, the former Everton man. 5 minutes remain on the clock here. We have a corner. James Garner's going to step up and take. Floats it into the penalty spot, looking for Mark Gay. Headed away though, only out as far as Bakayoko. Zangante, the centre-back, will pick it up though. He's being challenged by Alexander Isak. Doesn't manage to win it though, and Hato now will burst down this left-hand side. Can he try and get a ball across? He does. It was a good ball, but where on earth were my strikers? And that ended up being the final attack of the game. The Newcastle players celebrated. That man's goal, Joe Linton, was the only thing that separated the two teams here today. As frustratingly here at St James's Park, it finishes Newcastle 1, Everton 0. Well, I don't know what it is about this Everton team, but every single time the pressure seems to mount, we seem to fall apart. It looks like Newcastle have narrowed the gap to us in the Premier League. And with Liverpool now streaking off into the distance, 6 points clear of us, it now looks like we are looking over our shoulder as we've got Spurs, United, and Newcastle, and Arsenal all chasing us frantically to secure Champions League football for next season. But fortunately, after getting back to winning ways straight away, smashing Crystal Palace away from home 3-1, the squad seems to have got their heads back together exactly when I needed them to. It really is incredible just how tight the race is for these Champions League spots in the Premier League. We've got ourselves United, Spurs and Arsenal all vying for those 2 spots. Frustratingly though, even though we do have a 1-point gap over United and a 3-point gap over Spurs, it is those 2 teams who do have a game in hand on us. However, looking at the Premier League table and looking at those 3 other teams, there is one glaringly obvious issue that we do have in comparison to them, and that is just how few goals we've scored this season, only managing to find the net 45 times. Now, Dele Alli seems to have found his shooting boots once again this season in the Premier League. 10 goals from an attacking midfield position is a pretty decent return, and I am delighted he's been able to get into double figures. Now, on the surface, 14 goals for Beto this season actually looks like a pretty decent return. However, when I dive into the numbers in a little bit more detail, it kind of pays papers over the cracks. Only 13 goals in the Premier League, and that is in 29 appearances as my number one striker. He hasn't even been able to get a goal every other game this season, and with me needing to replace Dominic Calvert-Lewin at the start of next season, initially I was thinking just to bring in a backup in his place. However, do I need to think slightly more seriously about bringing in someone who can genuinely compete with Beto and perhaps go one step further and replace him in the starting 11 altogether? Let me know down in the comments what you think. Now, yes, Bakayoko seems to be coming of age this season. 9 goals and 5 assists in 32 appearances in the Premier League on the right-hand side, and with him going up by 3 ratings to 83, he is starting to establish himself as one of my best players in the team at only 21 years of age. But with Dwight McNeil only being able to contribute 4 goals in 26 Premier League appearances, Damsgaard only being able to contribute 3 goals in 27 appearances, and of course Dominic Calvert-Lewin only chipping in with 1 goal in 11 Premier League appearances, it really does seem like we are relying so heavily on the goals from the likes of Bakayoko, from the likes of Beto, and Dele Alli as well. Perhaps should I be expecting more from my central midfielders, the likes of Onana, who's only managed to get 1 goal, the likes of James Garner, who too has only managed to get 1 goal, and even the likes of Mark Gay stepping up at corners, only managing to contribute 1 goal as well. It seems like the rest of my squad aren't exactly stepping up when the likes of Beto goes in and out of form. So with that in mind, and with just 6 games remaining in the season, I am about to do something incredibly bold, and that is to shift our entire tactical vision away from wing play and to focus more on a gegenpressing system that is hopefully going to push all my players up and try and get them in more attacking positions more often. Now, I'm not going to change the actual formation itself. I am going to stick to this 4-3-3, but instead of the likes of Bakayoko and Huerta sticking out wide, I am going to ask them to cut inside. I'm going to ask the likes of Dele Alli to try and get in the box at every opportunity, and I'm going to ask both of my fullbacks to make sure that they join the attack at every opportunity as well. Potentially this is a very, very risky decision, but with my job seemingly hanging by a thread with the board, and with us wanting to take control of our own destiny in the Premier League and try and make that final push into the Champions League spots this season, I've decided that now is the time to step up and make a bold decision that could well cement my legacy as manager of Everton Football Club. And what a team to test out this brand new tactical vision against. An Arsenal team that have Mo Salah in their ranks, and it's an Arsenal team that will be desperate to get 3 points as they battle us for the final Champions League spots. Fortunately enough though, with a return to full fitness for most of my key players, it is a return to my usual strongest starting 11, and that means Pickford's in goal, Patterson, Gay, Branthwaite and Hato at the back, Onana and Garner, and Dele Alli in midfield, with Bakayoko, McNeil and Beto making up the attack. This is a huge game, an even bigger one than the Newcastle game, and one that we have to take advantage of here at Goodison Park. Martinelli now for Arsenal though, inside the opening 5 minutes here, is going to try and go past Mark Gay. Doesn't do a good enough job, but Mark Gay gets his wires all crossed, and Gabby Jesus plays it over the bar. That is a huge opportunity for Arsenal. Well, I tell you what, we got away with one there. We were slightly exposed by the Arsenal counter-attack, with all my players clearly pressing so high. They managed to beat the press, and potentially we almost lost it there, but Beto comes short now to try and pick it up, and now with Dele Alli getting in a more advanced position, he feeds in Hato. Hato's in the box, and Hato's just straight offside. And I've got to be honest that whilst I do think I do have more options when I do go forward, having this new tactical vision is leaving us slightly exposed at the back, and we've just got to hope, especially against a big team like Arsenal, that we don't leave ourselves too vulnerable. But Dwight McNeil now has managed to ghost into the Arsenal penalty area. Dwight McNeil on his left manages to apply a wonderful finish into the bottom right-hand corner inside the opening 25 minutes to give us a 1-0 lead. Well, just as I was saying, I felt like I was getting more options. Dwight McNeil pops up in a lovely little pocket of space on the left-hand side. He manages to ghost into the Arsenal penalty area and just apply a wonderful finish. Gave the goalkeeper absolutely no chance whatsoever. It's 1-0 Everton. Taps over for Arsenal into Mendy. They're going to look to try and see if they can respond immediately, and they've done a really good job. Oh, I was going to say they almost did a really good job, but Mark Gay was one step ahead of Martinelli here, and he manages to win the ball back, and now feed it into Hato. Will go down the line into the goal scorer, Dwight McNeil, and full of confidence, manages to skip away from a really good challenge here, feeds it into Dele Alli. Dele Alli tried to strike. Oh, how much he would love to score against his former club's arch rivals, but frustratingly enough for him, he wasn't able to. Mo Salah for Arsenal, who has been uncharacteristically quiet so far in this game, hasn't really been able to get involved here, as look at this Everton press, look at this vision, every single one of my players so high up the pitch. Onana tried to want it back, and Dele Alli tried to get it back off of Declan Rice, but that is brilliant pressing from Everton, and look at this, Onana winning the ball back high. This is exactly what the fans have paid to see here. Now Dwight McNeil has it again. Can I try and throw it into the box, looking for Bakayoko at the back post? Oh my word, that was almost spectacular. What a goal that would have been. A brilliant piece of play and a brilliant ball, and it was almost an incredible overhead kick. but frustratingly for us, he got it all wrong and he blazed it over the bar. Well, it's the start of the second half here, and at the moment, we are leading 1-0, and so far, I've been pretty impressed with the response to this new tactical vision, and we are just pressing and winning the ball back in fabulous areas, just like we did there with Dwight McNeil. And look at this from Bakayoko. Look at the space he's got, but frustratingly, he doesn't have anyone in the box, so he's going to have to cut it back onto his left, and shapes up to strike. What a strike and what a goal that could have been if it was not for the outstretched arms of Ramsdale. It will be the man of the moment. Bakayoko will take the resulting corner, and he fires it into the penalty spot looking for Branthwaite. It's a good header away though by the Arsenal defence. It will only fall to Hato though, who just nods it down into the path of Patterson. He's going to try and take this one out to the right hand side and try and see if he can fix up any sort of space here to try and see if he can whip the ball back in. He does. It goes up for another corner. This time it will be Garner who's going to take, but once again there will be no change to the delivery. Thrown in. This time looking for Dele Alli. Again, couldn't find him though. Branthwaite will get on the loose ball and nod it down into Garner. Garner will throw it back in. This time looking for Beto. Couldn't. Once again, Arsenal clear their lines. Chased down by Mark Gay. Brilliant defending yet again. The press is relentless here from these Everton players. I have been so impressed from top to bottom. We've been absolutely brilliant so far in this game. Long may it continue here as Hato picks the ball up. He tries to go in field, goes past two players. Brilliant play here. Finds McNeil, just finds himself offside. Into Declan Rice. Yes, we have been brilliant so far in this game, but as you can see, the scoreline is only at 1-0 here, and we've got to be careful that we don't do anything silly and we give away a sloppy goal. But Nathan Patterson defending well and now plays a ball down the line into James Garner. James Garner cuts inside though. Really good stuff from him, and he still has the ball here. He's continuing his run into Onana, who takes it on brilliantly. Onana into Dwight McNeil. Dwight McNeil's going to go all the way out wide to Hato. Hato's going to throw it in, and he just unfortunately gets the cross all wrong. It was beautiful build-up play, but we couldn't take advantage of the final ball. Martinelli for Arsenal out wide into Mendy. Once again, the press is relentless here from Everton, but Arsenal have been able to wriggle away from it. They've done a really good job here, and now Martinelli has not managed to get past Patterson yet again. It's even better defending. Patterson though, oh my word, this is a ding-dong battle between him and the Brazilian, and Patterson in the end goes and gives away, almost gave away a free kick here there, but Martinelli manages to stay on his feet and manages now to drive down this left-hand side. Oh, brilliant stuff from the Brazilian, throws it in though, but Mark Gay once again with a big head into the feet, the head of Garner. Dele Alli will win it back. Can't get past Odegaard. Arsenal now have ramped up the pressure here with just 5 minutes remaining on the clock. Tapsoba into Alaba now, into Odegaard. Odegaard to Rice, into Jorginho, unmarked. He tried to nick it across, but it was Mark Gay who tried to win it back. Mendy, though, managed to win it back from Bakayoko, and perhaps the fatigue and the stamina has dropped here as Arsenal are in the ascendancy. Arsenal are the team that are looking likely to get the goal here that could potentially help us drop 2 points as Gabby Jesus now has it into the penalty area on the edge. But once again, Mark Gay, who has been stoic at the back for us so far, won the ball back. Hato clears into the path of Patterson. He takes it on as the referee blows for full time. What a game here at Goodison Park. I shake the hand of Arteta, who is despondent. I am absolutely delighted though. It has been a stellar performance from my entire team, but especially this man, Dwight McNeil. As at full time here, it finishes Everton 1, Arsenal 0. And whilst, yes, it may not have been a goal fest at Goodison Park, it is though another clean sheet. Another 3 points in the bag that cements our position with just 5 games remaining in third place. And for me, arguably one of the best performances from this entire team so far this season. And with Beto and Cesar Huerta getting on the score sheet in another victory, we've kept another clean sheet our very next game as we beat Leicester City away from home 2-0. However, our run of victories are brought to a crashing halt as we are only able to secure a 1-1 draw at home to Bournemouth in our very next game. And despite Cesar Huerta getting on the score sheet for the 3rd time in a row, his goal in the 64th minute is still not enough as Ruben Diaz denies us a famous victory at the Etihad as we can only manage a 1-1 draw. However, in spite of those 2 draws, our continuing unbeaten run so far has continued our place in the Champions League. Yes, we have dropped down to 4th with Manchester United managing to overtake us, but with us being 6 points clear of Aston Villa in 5th place, and with a relegated Southampton being our very next opponents, we need just 1 more victory to guarantee Champions League football for Everton Football Club next season. The squad has been on a continuous rate of improvement this season, and all I'm asking for is just 1 more push from these players to do the unthinkable unthinkable, to do something that no one, not even the strongest Evertonian, would have hoped for at the beginning of the season, and that is to qualify for the Champions League. And in what is an absolutely incredible turn of events, I have received an email from my senior physiotherapist to inform me that Jota has returned to training after his injury. Now clearly with him just returning to training, he's not going to be 100% fit and ready to go for this very pivotal game, but what an important moment for this man to return to the squad, and what a morale booster it is for the rest of the players. And whilst he may not make the starting 11 for our very next game, he is going to be fit enough to make the bench and hopefully make some sort of impact in the last 20 to 30 minutes of this game. And with Southampton sitting rock bottom of the Premier League, we could not have asked for a better opportunity to get 3 points and to seal our fate for next season. Here we go then. This is an absolutely golden opportunity to get 3 points here and to achieve something that Everton fans have not seen in almost 20 years here, bringing Champions League football back to Goodison Park. And already though, this has been a lightning start as Carlos Cuerta almost tried to add his 4th in as many games, but he was denied by the outstretched arms of the Southampton goalkeeper. Short pass, gets it wrong though, and Aribo managed to intercept really well. And now Stewart has it for Southampton round the corner into Kalmadine Sulemana. He tries to strike, does strike. That is a brilliant strike, and that is the worst possible start inside 12 minutes that Everton could have hoped for. Well, I said it at the start of the episode and I will say it again, when the pressure seems to mount on us, we just seem to fall apart. And Southampton, the team that are rock bottom of the Premier League, the team that have been woeful so far this season, have taken the lead at Goodison Park 1-0. Fires a nice ball over to Patterson on the right hand side, and Patterson has got an option up ahead of him of Bakayoko. He finds Bakayoko, tried to turn it around the corner into James Garner, but James Garner, being more advanced, has now left an opening for Aribo to try and take advantage of, as Mark Gay tried to challenge him but didn't do a good enough job. And now Southampton have completely opened up my defence here at will. Kalmadine Sulemana into Dembele. Dembele strikes. My word, we got away with one there. He puts it wide. How on earth have they not doubled their lead? Back out to Patterson on the right hand side. We're going to try and see if we can unlock this Southampton defence so far, as we've not been able to do. Lovely ball though into Beto, shifts it onto his left. Beto strikes, falls to Damsgaard, and Damsgaard this time makes no mistake on the edge of the 6-yard box. He fires a strike with his left foot deep into the bottom right-hand corner. He got a bit of luck with the ball falling to him, but he's got to be in the right place at the right time, and my word, he was. And it was the perfect time to score. He's levelled the scores up here at Goodison Park. It's 1-1. Bakayoko now has a wonderful opportunity to try and bring the ball out here, and he's fed a wonderful ball into Beto. This is a lightning counter-attack. Beto to strike. Beto to score, and within the space of 5 minutes, we have totally turned this game on its head. This is absolutely stunning stuff. Well, it all started with Bakayoko streaking down the right-hand side and laying a beautiful ball into the channel that Beto was able to latch onto, and he had the calmness and the composure to just pick his spot and fire it past the goalkeeper. 2-1. Out wide to Payne on the right-hand side. He goes in, but it's well intercepted by Garner, and Garner now finds Bakayoko, who's really central here, and Bakayoko feeds a wonderful ball out to Herta. Herta in the centre, into Damsgaard, into Beto to make it 3. He does, but has he just strayed offside? It looks like he has. The Everton fans have gone absolutely wild, but their celebrations will not count, as that goal will not count. Let's have a look at this. He's, oh my word, he's literally a toe away. That is unbelievable stuff here, but what a call from the linesman, and what a harsh way to disallow that goal. Onana skipping away from 1, 2, 3 challenges there. He's done a really good job, and that is a fabulous ball over to Patterson, who plays it into Bakayoko, over to Garner. We are starting to really carve this Southampton defence apart. Bakayoko on his left. Bakayoko to give us the 3rd goal here, right on the stroke of half-time. And are all the pieces of the puzzle finally starting to fall into place for Everton Football Club? Well, if the opening 10 minutes of this game were a total shambles, we have responded with utter perfection, carving open the Southampton defence for the 3rd time in this game, and this time it is Bakayoko on his left to just curl it round the goalkeeper. He had no chance whatsoever. A beautiful finish and a beautiful way to put us 3-1 up. We have got just 45 minutes here to cement our place in the Champions League. And I've got to be honest, this gegenpressing system that I have switched to in the last few games of this episode really have seemed to work for me. I felt so much more comfortable both offensively and defensively, as Hato did a brilliant job, so calm at the back to win the ball back there. And now Carlos Cuerta will go with the overlap of Hato, who has been sensational so far. He streaks down the left-hand side. Can he add a 4th here? Hato to strike. That is nothing short of spectacular. From one end of the field to the other, Hato won the ball back inside our penalty area, ran the length of the field, and then applied the finish inside the Southampton penalty area. Absolute perfection from the Dutch left-back, who has come of age this season. A splendid finish and a splendid way to give us a 4-1 lead. Well, I'll tell you what, I have done some seriously daft things in this game, but surely, conceding 3 goals against the 20th place Southampton will not be one of them. And oh my word, I thought it was going to be conceding 4 goals, and I thought we were going to be able to give ourselves a 5-1 lead, but the goalkeeper did enough to block that opportunity and to block us putting the final nail in the Southampton coffin. But hopefully we can do it this time, as we've got a corner that Bakayoko will take, throws it in, looking for the head of Onana, who just nods it high and wide, but somehow it's managed to stay in field. I thought that was going to go out for a goal kick here. James Garner has it. He strikes with his left. Oh my word, that might be the best goal of the lot. Well, I spoke in the middle part of this episode about wanting some of my midfield players to step up to the plate, and James Garner, with his weaker foot from the edge of the box, my word, what a strike, and what a way to give us a 5-1 lead. Well, I'll tell you what, from this performance, aside from the opening 10 minutes, you can see exactly why Southampton are going to be playing in the Championship next season. They have been woeful from the 10th minute onwards here, as Cesar Huerta is going to look to try and see if he can add a 6th. He couldn't though, well blocked off in the end. Out to Kalmadine Sulemana, well blocked off though by Damsgaard, who's been really good so far. Patterson will look for the overlap of Bakayoko, and Bakayoko now will shift it onto his left. He's looking so dangerous. My word, I thought that was going to nestle in the top left-hand corner. It was a good save in the end though from the goalkeeper. Back to Branthwaite. Branthwaite to bring it out of defence, feeling confident enough to do so, and Garner with that goal is feeling confident enough to just do the dance round the Southampton midfield. Patterson will try and play it into the path of Bakayoko, who's managed to stay onside. He's going to try and bring it back onto his left, looks for Patterson again. Lovely play here, goes in field, looks for Onana. He's going to line up a strike, not to be outdone by his midfield partner, but in the end, Lumley manages to get a hand to it. And to add insult to injury, with just 12 minutes plus stoppage time remaining, Jota is going to get the opportunity to return to the Everton ranks here in front of the Evertonians. And he's going to hope to see if he can make an immediate impact here as he picks the ball up on the edge of the box here. Feeds it into Kazawa on as a substitute as well, who throws it into the back post, looking for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who will get a run out in the final 10 minutes in what will hopefully be his final appearance in an Everton shirt here. But we are about to be undone. Are we about to be undone as Adams tries to drive through the centre of my defence, but he's blocked off here by Branthwaite. Manages to go back into Aribo, into Kalmadine Sulemana, who stretches away, but Willems on as a substitute. The young Belgian did a brilliant job, and now Dele Alli feeds it into Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Oh, how much he will love to score in front of the home fans here in his final game at Goodison Park. But unfortunately it was not meant to be. Well, we've just got about 2 minutes of stoppage time remaining here. It's Southampton who've got a corner. It's thrown in by Kalmadine Sulemana, headed away by Kazawa. Will he be able to get onto the second ball? He will. He wins it back well. He drives out of defence. I'm going to just hack this one clear all the way over. Tried to feed in Bakayoko, but it does not matter because the referee blows for full time. The Everton fans have gone absolutely berserk. We have done the unthinkable. Not even the most die-hard Evertonians would have suspected that we would have been able to qualify for the Champions League at the end of the season, but we have done just that. Let the celebrations begin here at Goodison Park, because at full time it finishes Everton 5, Southampton 1. And after an up and down season for this squad, they have achieved the unthinkable. It's a 5-1 victory that guarantees our place in the Champions League next season. And with us finishing off the season with another victory, this time 2-1 away from home against Nottingham Forest. It is all smiles at Everton Football Club as we finish in 3rd place in the Premier League with 73 points to our name. Beto finishes our top goal scorer this season with 17 goals to his name in all competitions. Dele Alli will come in second with 14, and Bakayoko will round off the top 3 with 10 goals, getting into double figures here in the Premier League, and with 9 assists. What a standout campaign it has been for the 22-year-old Belgian. I'm going to be hoping next season that with Champions League football, a Champions League budget will also be arriving, as whilst my starting 11 is really starting to take shape, there are a few areas of this team that need improving. Certainly at right back, I would like more competition for Patterson on the right hand side of my defence, as well as Hato on the left hand side, and also in midfield, Onana and Garner are the only 2 central defensive midfielders I've even got at the club as well. We're going to be saying goodbye to Dominic Calvert-Lewin as he heads off to Spain to play for Real Madrid, and it's more than likely we're going to try and see if we can sell Neil Mopé to raise some additional funds. And so not only will we need some reinforcements on the right-hand side of my defence, on the left-hand side of my defence, in central midfield to cover the likes of Onana and James Garner, but we're also going to need some reinforcements up front to try and compete with this man, Beto, heading into the new season. So once again, let me know down in the comments below who you would like to be seeing playing in an Everton shirt in our Champions League campaign next season, as that is that for the end of today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the entire season, and hopefully you will join me for Season 3, where Everton Football Club will be playing in the Champions League. Thanks for watching.